everyone goes around in this little they're in there, you know, they're not there. So the amount of times I've done things that you think are only for nightclubs, like the whole forcing IOI thing. I'll be on the phone, I'll be sort of looking at her eyes and see a girl, I'll be like, you know, or some little thing, you know, you force IOI, she'll smile, but mate, I've got to go, and then you know
it's gonna work.
Yeah. Where if I was in my own little world, that wouldn't happen. So, so I tell guys that I literally used to walk slouched, and I used to have mates like commented it at school. I used to walk. In fact, one guy said I used to walk like I had a cucumber up my arse. That's what someone said, and just like this weird like little way, you know. And because at the time, because look, the way you walk, the way you use your body is just that your body tells the truth. It's just expressing how you feel about yourself, you know. So if you feel you're this low value person, and you know, growing up, I was like, if you had like a social hierarchy, I was down the bottom, you know, and I acted that way, and I walked with my head down and stuff because that fitted my social status or whatever, you know. But then everyone gets into this stuff, they find out how this stuff works, and they realise, you know what, that's where I want to be. So you start learning, okay, well, people there, how do they use their body, and then just start doing it, and it'll feel a bit weird at first. But when you're going direct on the street, because you're forcing the girl to you know, just
make a quick decision.
Yeah, like, is this guy fuckable, you know? Could this guy be a potential boyfriend, you know? And with indirect, you're not forcing that decision on her. Where with direct, you are. So there's certain things that need to be, you know, you need to work on in order to get the best chances of success, right? So yeah, so these 5 things we're going through, they're kind of behavioural. The vibe, the body language, and the most important thing I can say about the body language as an overall thing is just be relaxed. You know, if you're going in there and you're tense, it makes her tense.
You seem quite loose and relaxed, but you stay quite still, don't you, once you're in there? Yeah. I mean, it depends. I don't do any one thing. It depends what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a bit of a goofy, playful, silly mood, and she ends up being quite a funny, silly girl, we might dance around a little bit and mess around. But a lot of the time, if I'm really sort of putting on the direct, and then I will stay quite still and, you know, look for eye contact, and there is a power to being really still actually in the street, and like you're the rock and she's the one like going, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. Like, yeah, that's right, I said that. You know. But the most important thing is being relaxed. And that will come the more you do it. But if you talk to her and you just find yourself, you're all like all tense and stuff, just relax. How would you stand? How would you behave with your body if you were talking to your best friend? You know, just I tell guys to think about that. And the next thing we're going to talk about is your voice, which is very important. And I guess it's not as important for night game. I don't know what you think. I mean, I'm not a night gamer, but it depends. It depends on the style. I mean, I guess I split pickup into day game, bar game, and then noisy club.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing that always got me, man. And I just, in my mind, took the path of least resistance. Like, I went up to nightclubs and I was trying. Excuse me, sorry to bother you. My friend, and it just didn't work for me because I felt the thing that I was good at was talking, and you know, I've no doubt that if I decided, right, you know, I want to do the whole club thing, I could do it for practice. But I just took the path of least resistance. I found day game. I found it easier. I really did, you know, and I sort of fell in love with it. I love it.
Well, when we do a boot camp, we do get. The statistic is that 50% of guys will get numbers in the first day game session, which is just an hour, and most of them haven't done it before. So they're going out, and yes, they're with trainers, but they've only had a short briefing, and they're able to quickly get the results. And I think it is easier to learn in terms of the things that need to be on your mind. If you're in a nightclub and you're worrying about, you know, whether they can hear you or whether she's with her friends or on the dance floor, you know, all the stuff that could happen, it is a lot less, there's a lot less going on in the daytime, so it's something where it's easier to get those initial results. Of course, to master it is still, you know, still takes a long time.
I mean, the difference between being able to go up to a girl and make a laugh and get a number, and the difference to, like, you know, same day lays and instant dates and everything else and all the fun stuff, you know. But you know, so let's talk about your voice, and this is really important because this is like the main thing. Because day games are more about, you know, getting to know each other and comfort, and it's like using your voice in a perfect environment for it. Because she's not like, what?
Yeah.
What? It's just you and her. And if you approach, obviously you can approach two sets, and like mum-daughter, which is my favourite. But if you approach one girl, there's on the street, there's no one listening, no one judging, you know, so you haven't got to worry as much about like her thinking others are judging me, am I coming across too easy, and all the social conditioning stuff. So it's just you and her. So if you learn to master your voice, you can your success can skyrocket. So I've broken the voice thing down to 5 things, and luckily they all start with P, so it sounds cool. The 5 P's of your voice, right? And this is like, I mean, all these things are important, but the voice is I found really, really important. So the first thing is your pitch when you're talking to the girl. And I found that when I started this, whenever I seemed to approach a girl who I thought was in my league, you know what I mean? I thought, well, she's cute, but she's not too cute. I go over there with kind of with a confidence about me, because she wasn't this 10 model. She was, you know, she was kind of cute, you know.
You can handle her.
Yeah, I can handle her.
She
Exactly.
should be happy to be talking to you.
So I was going in there thinking I was a little bit higher value, right? And I remember I was recording myself quite a lot, and I remember watching it, and I was thinking, like, seeing the difference in how I acted and behaved when I was approaching a girl who I thought was kind of cute and within my, you know, I could handle her no problem, and the girl who I was like, whoa, she's super hot. And I started to see this, because you can't really, when you're doing it, when you're
you can't be aware of everything that's going on.
So I'd watch it back, and I'd notice these things, and I'd also notice them obviously now with the students I teach, and it's amazing that people do it. And the pitch that you talk to somebody it really does give away your perception of not only their value but your value as well. So let's say you approach a girl on the street, or let's say another example with a pitch tonality. Let's say you're walking along and you're talking to your mate, like, oh, where should we go tonight? I don't know, let's go to, you know, on and on, yeah, sweet. And then suddenly this tramp comes up and says, sorry mate, you got any change? And you say, no, sorry mate, I don't give money to tramps, sorry mate. Because that person has no value to you. So you don't care what he thinks, you're not trying to seek rapport with that person. No, sorry mate, so your pitch is unchanging. If anything, it might even go down a little bit. No, sorry mate. Suddenly, a super hot girl approaches, like you're 10, and asks you for directions to on and on. No, sorry mate. Yeah, sure. Yeah, on and on. We're going there. It's just down there. Yeah. No, sorry, mate. No change. No. Yeah. Just down there. No. Yeah. And your pitch is constantly changing because of your value perception, right? And now she's not thinking, oh, he thinks I'm high value and he's low value. You know, it's not a thing you kind of pick up.
No, it's just a subconscious thing.
Yeah, and we feel it as people. We feel it as well. If some guy approaches you, it's like, oh, Richard. Oh, hi, Richard.
We can see you.
Yeah, how you doing? You alright? Where some guy that comes up to you, hey, Rich, how you doing? You alright, mate? Yeah, good. It changes completely, you know. Because the person who comes at you with this kind of
invested, weak, lower value, they want something.
Yeah. Versus
casual, just being friendly and.
So the difference is approaching a girl, and instead of going like, hi, sorry to bother you. I just saw you over there, and you look absolutely gorgeous, right? Compared to the guys like, oh my god, okay. I just have to tell you, you look absolutely stunning. Now, I'm exaggerating, obviously. I mean, but the difference can be very subtle, and what it does, it just your value. If you imagine a bar of your value, it changes it, you know. And I notice these things because when you see the super hot girl, you're 10, you know, and she's got an arse, you could just, and you want it even more. You know, you really want it. So just unless you think about it, unless you kind of stop yourself, you will go over there like, hi, please like me, right? Where if you see a girl, she's cute, yeah, you know, whatever, hey, yeah, and it changes your approach. So just be aware that when you approach a girl, your pitch should be how you talk to people normally. Just how would you approach her if she was your best mate or just a friend that, whatever, you know. Yeah. And I'm not saying like talk to girls in a monotonous tone. I get excited. I'm like, oh no way, whatever. I mean, I fluctuate all the time, but just make sure that your default, you know, is and you can kind of feel where your voice vibrates. And when it goes, you can kind of feel it's got a location from down here all the way up to the nose when you're really high pitched. So I just say just keep it kind of below the chin, just keep it down here, you know, unless you're expressing yourself or whatever. All right, so that's your pitch. The next P is your pace.